guys, and welcome to my channel Flame Over 4. This is a little bit of a different video to the ones that we usually do, just because we have the Ecto-1 t-shirt in this 4 issues that we're about to do, and I want you to just show it to you. Instead of you just seeing my head sliced off and just the bottom half of me building, I wanted to be here to show you guys. And while we're here, I thought we might as well talk through what is going to be coming next. So we have the magazine, and like I said, we have the t-shirt on. The ones we're going to be running through, we're only going to be doing one in this, but we will have another 3 to follow. So we have issue 27, which is just here. We also have issue 28. So we have issue 28, some exhausts. Lovely. As you know, my last couple of builds were broken, so the main frame was broken. I didn't do anything about it. I haven't actually contacted Hachette the Sales yet about that. Is it Hachette or is it Eagle Moss? Eagle Moss, should I say. Or Hero Collector even. Hero Collector. To even speak to them, I think Hero Collector is Eagle Moss anyway, about the broken part. So, I mean, at the moment it's holding up. I don't know what to do. I don't really want to strip it back down and carry on. It seems to be fine, but like somebody did mention, it could possibly later down the line, when it gets a lot heavier, start to break away. So I don't know. We'll have to figure that one out. So 29 is more exhausts. Did I show you that one already? Yeah, 28, 29 are exhausts. And then 20, well 30 should I say, can't count to that. This is like the rear axle. So we're going to be building a rear axle as well. So in this video, we're only going to be doing just this one. So we're going to be doing issue 27. What we'll do is, now that we've shown off the t-shirt and we've had a little talk, we're going to bring the camera down, and then what we'll do is we'll go through the parts like we usually do, where we just list what we have here, what's metal, what's plastic, because the metal and plastic ratio is really, really good. The only thing that I don't like on this is that the fact that we don't have the back wheels yet, so we have to sit it on something. We want to put it on something really nice and stable. Just I used like a double up on a towel. You can use some foam, anything that you want to use, something cushiony, so you're not pushing down and breaking any of the bits as you build onto this. Okay guys, so we're just going to bring it down, and then we're going to start to do the build. So as you can see here guys, we now have all the pieces out. We have the screws over here, so we won't worry about those too much. You should have OM screws, AP screws, EP, HP and IP screws just in this area there. Make sure they're all there. 27A is this main piece. This is plastic. Engine bulkhead, that's the piece that's there. There's 27B, which is the blower unit, which is going to be this section here, just like that. 27C is the power brake reservoir vacuum cylinder. It's going to be this small, or I say small, this is quite big, black piece there. 27D is the windshield washer pump, which looks a little bit like this one, just there, that little silver piece there. Windscreen washer motor is 27E. So 27E is the windscreen washer motor, which is just this little tiny piece here, just there. And blower vacuum power unit is 27F. Again, these are like tiny little pieces there, so that's going to be that little unit there. And then we have 27G, which is the power brake reservoir master cylinder, which is going to be this sort of squarish section there. So there you go, that's that one. And 27H is going to be the power brake reservoir distributor, and that is going to be the power distributor. 27H. I think that was the bit we just showed you, wasn't it? I don't know. I'm just confused what we have here. There's so many pieces. It's really confusing. I'm guessing we probably mixed this up from something else. So as long as you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 silver bits, you should be fine. Right, so 27I is a power brake reservoir fluid line, which is just going to be this rubbery one here. And then 27J is the bulkhead support strut bracket. So these are pretty cool actually. So these are like support brackets, but look how tough they are. So these are metal which is really good. So these are metal support brackets, which is really nice. So they just go there. And then you want to have 27J, sorry, missed out 27Js, and they're these two black sections here, which look a little bit like that. I'll pop them down, you better see them a little better if they were actually in shot. There you go, so they're the 27Js. Once you've done your parts check off and you're happy that you have everything here, what you want to do is you have to, because it has every 4 issues in this magazine, you have to flick through until you get to 27, which says it's the bulkhead. So we'll get there. We do need to just make sure that we have a screwdriver that is suitable. Make sure you do this before you continue to do anything on your build, guys, because you really kind of want to make sure you have that ready to go. So the first thing they want us to do, guys, is they want us to get 27B, which is this black section here. They want us to attach 27F onto that. So 27F is going to be this kind of horn looking piece, which is just here, and that needs to fit into position. So it says that there is a locating lug, which there should be. So I'm just going to double check that there is one here. So 27F has to go into this. So make sure you get it around the right way. There is, like I said, a locating lug so that you don't get it wrong, which should sit in place really nicely. Once that's in, what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach that with a EP screw. Once I've done that, I'll come back and show you guys what it should look like up close and personal, so you guys can see what that looks like when it's done. So I'll be back in a sec, guys. Okay guys, that took a little bit longer than expected, as I still had my screwdriver set up from doing Build the Terminator, so I just had to go through them quickly. So what they want you to do is have this figure looking like this at that stage. So this is 27B with 27F connected with an EP screw. So if I just turn it around this way, you'll be able to see that the EP screw goes just under there. So that's where that's meant to go. Alright guys, so now you've done that, you will need to now attach it onto this other section here. So this is what we need to use to make figure B. There's not a lot to hold this on. You want to make sure that the curved bottom section is just in place there, and then this should just fit over that like so. So there is a hole that just here in that section there, and then that will go over, and then that is attached using an IP screw. So what we need to do now, we need to just go grab an IP screw and just quickly put that in. So we'll do that and then we'll show you what that looks like once we've done it. So guys, now that IP screw is in place, you should have something that looks a little bit like that. So that is how that section is there. This is called figure B. So on the back here, you want to have the IP screw, which is just a holding it on just there. And then once you have it like that, that's how it should look on this. Wow, he's sticking to the page, on this page. So the next bit they want us to do is they want us to attach 27H to 27G. So we can go ahead and do that. So 27H is going to be this long tube section here. And then on top of that, they want us to put this box square section here on top. So it's got a locating lug on there, so that's fine. You want to make sure the little pin is sticking out the side, and then the little locating lug will go over the top and then hold into place. So they like to give us nice fiddly things to do. In the top of here, we are going to pop an AP screw. So we'll try and do that without having to fast forward through, because I'm hoping that we have enough skill to be able to attach two little pieces together. I say that, and then it'll probably go wrong, but we'll see. So once you've done that and pushed that into place, remember guys, these are just two plastic sections. You should have something that looks a little like that. So once you have that in place and you're happy with it, the next thing we're going to do is attach 27C onto that as well. So that will need to go over the top of this. So you need to make sure that that is in place. So what we need to do here is we need to put this over into the section that it's got to go onto. So this will obviously stick out of there on the end. So you also want to make sure that that's attached. So that just goes in. There is actually a little cutout in there as well, so that you can't get it wrong. So once you're happy with it, you want to hold it into place. You want to make sure that this open section is here, because that's going to go against this. It's telling us to use an EP to screw that onto. So we will go grab an EP screw. We'll just pop that in the hole, and then hopefully again not have to worry too much about fast forwarding. You might want to just start it off. As it starts to go, then make sure that the piece is in position. Once it's in position, then you can go ahead, and just finish screwing it up. I mean, like I say, they're not designed to be really difficult to do. They are really fiddly, that's all it is. So this is kind of like the fuel reservoir, I guess, because that's how that should look, like that. So that should look like this, and that's the top. And then on the back, you should have your EP screw just through there. You probably won't be able to see it, but it's through there and it's holding it all in. Once you've done that, guys, you will need to now take this again. It's asking us to turn it around this way so that we're installing it onto this section here. So on this side there, you want to make sure that it goes into position like that. So I don't know whether you can see it like that, but this goes like this, and then it sits in there like that, so that it's in position like that. I mean, if you just push it around there, it'll be straight like that. And then on the back, you need to put an EP screw just in the back to hold that on. Again, like I said, guys, we probably won't need to fast forward through just putting this EP screw on, even though it's making it really difficult because it's so magnetized that it's holding it really well. That's not an issue, because the worst thing is it not going on and then you can't screw it into place. Right, so we are just making this back bulkhead up as much as we can. Right, so once you've done that, the screw on the back should just be here. So I don't know if you can see it there, but it's just there. And then on the other side, you should have something that looks like this. So it's now being made up really well and it looks really cool. So there you go. Right, so again, my arm's sticking to it. We will need to attach these two pieces. It just seemed a little bit pointless that this wasn't one piece, but I suppose they're just trying to keep us busy. And then we need to attach 27E to 27D using the EP screw, which we will now go ahead and do. So I'm just going to get this EP screw on the end, pop it through that hole if I can. An EP screw seems quite thick, but that's what it wants. We're going to give it to it. So once that's gone through, we just need to hold that in place and make sure that it's starting up nice and tight. There we go. And then that now needs to attach along the side of here at the top there. So that will just sit in position just like that and like so. And then on the back here, there's another little locating hole on the back, and that takes another EP screw. So we're going to go ahead and magnetize another EP screw up and just pop it into here. Screw it all up, which shouldn't take long at all. And then once that's done, you should, on this page now, which is page 9, have it looking like that. So everything is in position. So that is the last piece that we put in. So that's figure A, 27D and 27E held in the back by an EP screw just in there like that. So there you go, that's where that is. Right, so yours should look like this. So we're going to turn the page and see what else it wants us to do now. So on the car, it's saying that we need to fit the power brake reservoir fluid line 27 to the lift valve. So that sounds pretty cool. So we're going to be able to do all of that. It looks like we will need to install this cable first onto the build. So that's going to be really exciting. So we can get to do that. And then we will need to bring it over for us to be able to build the rest of it. So I'm just going to pop it there while I go get the car itself. Because as you know, the car is pretty heavy, and I've got the I've got a bit of a cheat because I have the DeLorean mounts to hold it up into place out of the way. So I'm just going to pull everything through and over out of the way for a second, and I'll put it down and I'll show you what I mean. So I have the DeLorean mounts that I can use to hold this up to stop it from flipping and hitting the floor. Again, if you want to, you can go get a towel. I probably will get a towel once I'm building it upside down again. But we're just going to be working on this back section here. So what it's saying for us to do, it wants us to take this hose here, and it wants us to put it into or onto the engine. Okay guys, it's going to be really hard for me to show you this piece with it away from the vehicle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just install these hoses, and then we will talk about and zoom in, you know, after the video. Because the 27L I think it is, or 27I, comes off this bottom section just down here, and it just needs to be left to hang loose because it will connect to the brake reservoir. So that just needs to sit just loose like that. The other cable that they are talking about in here, which is 12L, is on the left hand side, and that is the one that you should already have installed, which should just be sitting loose like that too, because this is going to be attached to the back of the bulkhead at a later stage, or in a minute actually, to be fair. But the first thing we need to do is, now that we've attached this hose on here, we need to put the bulkhead into place. So we need to take this and we need to make sure that all the pieces here are facing through, and we need to make sure that that hole goes through the shaft here. This shaft needs to go through, which is going to be for the steering. That needs to go through there, and then you just need to attach it on. If you want to, which is what I'm going to do, is I know you can't see it, but I'm going to attach the hose that it wants me to attach on now, because once it's in place, it's going to be a smaller hole and it's going to be a lot more difficult for me to do it. So I just need to just pop my tweezer end in the end of it there. So I'm just going to go do that now, because that's how I open up the end enough to be able to get it in. I know you can't really see what I'm doing, but never fear, because as soon as I've done this, I'm going to bring you over to show you what I'm doing. So as promised guys, I brought you over just to show you what I was up to and what I was doing there. So as you can see here, it comes off the pipe that is 27i, comes off the bottom of that section there. I don't want us to zoom in too much, but I don't know if you can see just down there. It just goes, the brake reservoir one goes on the bottom here, and then it goes on to this section here. So it goes on to that, and this is the back, this is part of the back of the bulkhead. Again, the one that was loose over here, which is this cable, you need to follow that around there, and that will attach onto this part of the build here. So that's the back of the bulkhead. So now what we need to do is get this section into place, because as you can see here, this has got to go over and through the shaft, which is the steering shaft, over and through, and then that will just sit nicely into position once we get it all lined up. I need to just obviously go and do that, and then once that's in place, there you go, so that's all clipped in nicely. We will need to put a couple of screws in here, so we'll need to go and pop the screws in this section there. So they want us to hold this bit down here using 2 OM screws, and then the 2 side ones are going to be IP screws. So we're just going to quickly go pop those in, and I'll show you what that looks like when we're done. Okay guys, so for me it was easier just to pop those screws in, so that's what I went ahead and did. So here is where the 2 IP screws will go in, so one here and one there, just in that section there. Down here is where the OM screw goes, just there. So if I point to it with the screwdriver, you're able to see. So they go just there, that section there. They are the OM screws. So again, on the other side, OM screw here. Don't know if you can see that, but the OM screw goes just there. And I'll take you around the other side so you can see where the other side ones went. So they literally just went parallel to this, but I'll take you around so you can see. So guys, now that we're on this side, I just want to show you that they went here. So that's where the other 2 screws went. And again, just for last referencing, the other one went, the OM one in there, the IP ones go in here. So now that's the whole bulkhead section there put into place. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pop you back on the stand, and then we'll continue the build. So for this part of the build, guys, what it wants us to do here, it wants us to do another figure eight. So 27K and 27J are going to be these 2 sections here. So let's just quickly get those on shot for you. So you need this one and this one. You will need to screw that into there, like so. So what we'll do is we'll just quickly show you screwing that on. You're better to just hold that and then just spin it round. It doesn't say how much to do it for, but it does say to just do it, say, halfway, and that is what I'm going to do on this one. So I'm going to do it about halfway, and then what it wants us to do here, it wants us to put it through the corners of the bulkhead. So you just need to put it through, there's the hole there in the bulkhead, it just goes through there, and then the rest of it will sit just on top of this section here, like so, like that. So, and on the other side, you need to do the same. So you need to put it through, it does go just above that silver section. I don't know if the camera's going to focus, and then the other bit will just sit down. There is this pipe hanging out here, so we haven't put that anywhere yet, so we're just going to hold it up out the way while that goes down there. And as you can see here, if we move that out of the way again, this is the piece we've just put on here, and it just goes through there and through that hole there, and then again on the other side there, along there, and then there's through the bulkhead. So it's just sticking out a little bit either side at the back there. You can adjust them by twisting them once they're in place, but we will just go ahead and put them in with the HP screws that it's asking us to do. So we're going to do that. So you should have 3 HP screws, and then the 2 of them that we need will go and sit on top. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to pop those in, and I'm hoping that the camera focuses enough for you to see. Don't need to be tight, that's just done up right there, so that's perfect. And then on this side, that little one goes just down in there, and that just sits like that. So that is it for that bit, guys. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to give you a nice, quickly detailed look of how it looks. So I'm just going to lift you up and show you. So here we go. So this is what it should look like at that stage. So isn't that looking absolutely superb? Looks really good. So I'm going to take you to the other camera, and then we are going to finish this video off. Okay guys, at this stage we have now put the back of the bulkhead on. The support struts are just in place, which is absolutely fantastic. So I'll show you on here just real quick. This is what we've had to do. This is where we are ending. So the vehicle should now look like this bottom grey scale here, and that is what it does look like. So even though it's mahoosive on here and it's not in the magazine, I'm really happy with how it's coming along. This build has really got me excited, and I do like doing it. In the next issue, stage 28, we are going to be putting the exhaust section on. So if you haven't already, guys, go grab yourself a towel, some foam, because we're going to have to be switching this thing upside down. The only good thing about it at the moment, about turning it upside down, is that this is all now a square flat section. So when we're putting it upside down, there isn't too much to break off like this section and things, because we don't have to worry about that now. So there we go. I hope you like this video. If you haven't already, please subscribe by clicking the button down here. Please like and share, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care now. Bye bye.